Good evening. It is 7:01. Welcome to the Bedminster Township Committee. This is our regularly scheduled December 18, 2023 meeting. Recognize that we have a quorum of Township Committee here in attendance. Committeewoman Renee Mareski, Committeeman Hickey, Committeeman Stevenson, Committeewoman Hernandez has an excused absence. Ms. Ray, can we please have the Open Public Meetings Act statement?
Yes, Mayor, adequate notice of this meeting of the Township Committee was sent to the Courier News Somerville, Burnersville News Whippany, and to all subscribers and posted at the Township Municipal Building on January 10th, 2023.
Great, thank you. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now it's time of the meeting that we open up the microphone for the Zoom proceedings for public comment. Any member of the public wishes to make any comment here in person, raise your hand and we'll put you up if you have anything you want to say. You certainly do not have to say anything. Yes, Mr. Roden, please come on up. Name and address, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Roden. I live on Spencer Lane in Pluckman. Here tonight to further discuss Mount Prospect Road. I would hope that some of you have been up the road since I last discussed the road. Having discussed the road with a lot of people that walk up it and currently use the road, the major concern I've heard is the speed of the cars going on the closed section of the road going up to the top to Stagecoach. And that kind of like left me with thought to solve the problem in a sense that speed is tough to control, and they talk about using barriers and whatnot to slow things down, bumps, all things that the road department wouldn't want. But what probably would work for the roadway is taking 1/3 of the road, slashing it off with a D-cross walkway and putting signs up that say that it's a one-lane road. So people are more cautious staying in one lane versus riding up the middle of the road, which is what they have to do at this point because the middle of the road has a lot of washout in it. And that kind of like, you want to run your center in your car over that versus go through it and stay the right or the left, whichever way you're going up or down the hill. And talking about the washout, I'm just hoping that in the upcoming budget season that there will be some possibility of doing something with the road. I do understand it was like 6-8 years ago that the road was basically totally paved by the township, a quick job, and it was fine. But it breaks up quickly because Mount Prospect is a lot of water. A lot of this water was originally there. It would just wash out the road continually. Mount Prospect down where I am, where it's curbed on both sides, it bleeds in the middle of the road from water that's washing down underneath in the springs and the additional water that comes off of Parcel G. I don't know whether you realize it, but when Parcel G was up for development by the hills, there was a question of which way they're going to bring the water down the hill, either through the backside, down through Knoll Crest and down through Stone Run and into the retention pond that way, or they were going to bring it down Mount Prospect. So they elected to bring it down Mount Prospect, and we get a tremendous amount of flow just from the normal water flow on that road, underneath that road, the springs that with the additional water, we get a tremendous amount of flow. And what that has done is the springs wash out the middle of the road. The extra flow washes out the side of the road. along the Stone Edge property line going up Mount Prospect, there's an area of paved road, no curbing where the curbing stops. And the side of the road has been washed out pretty deep. And, you know, a lot of the rock all got piled many years ago in front of the entrance to Stone Run, at which point the Stone Run had their landscapers clean it up and haul it off. Where in reality, they should have cleaned it up and threw it back in the ditch that it came out of. So what I am saying is that, you know, we're looking, I'm looking, hopefully that there will be some budget discussion about doing some patching, just, you know, patching, not replacing anything like that, whether it's tar and chip on the road, whether it's road slurry on the road. But the longer you leave open the center of the road, the more it's going to degrade faster. So I would just hope that that would be a consideration in this budget time. Right now, it's a fantastic walk up that road. I don't go up in the summer, too many bugs, too hot. You go up there right now and you get up to the top there and you can see everything. You know, all the greenery on the ground is down, it's low. You actually can see parcel G from the road now, the back of the houses, which means that anything you want to do up there, the residents of parcel G are going to say, no, we don't want it in our backyard. But whatever, I mean, we have their water flow in our backyard. Mount Prospect was an interesting road today. It was overflowing with water running down it because the stream is kind of filled in. And that's pretty much what I have to say tonight. And I would
Thank you, Mr.
appreciate
Roden.
your considerations.
Thank you, Mr. Roden. Doug, would you mind having a conversation with Kevin over at DPW?
Yep.
Maybe get some history
Sure.
of excuse me, the maintenance and responsibilities, especially regarding the drainage coming off the top of the hill.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you again, Mr. Roden. Any other comments from the public? And we have no participants. Robin, can you just
That's
confirm no participants via Zoom?
Nope.
All right, we will move on with the rest of the meeting. No permits and raffles.
No purpose around.
No permits and raffles. Monthly report discussion by subcommittee chairs. Committee Stevenson.
Minutes.
Minutes. Oh, geez, you're right. All those 4 minutes. We have 4 sets of meeting minutes, November 2023. Township Committee meeting. November 20, our executive session meeting. December 4th, the Township Committee regular meeting, and the December 4th executive session. Any comments or questions regarding the minutes? Seeing none, take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robin, for that catch. Committeeman Stevens.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. DPW's been working on doing leaf pickup. That's been completed. Working with some of the folks in the hills about street lighting. There's some problems with some sequencing of the lights, so we're working on that. Been working with the hike and bike path, trying to get that ready for some paving work and getting some of the edging done there. And last 2 weekends in particular, DPW's been dealing with flooding from our local storms. So, you know, there's a lot of damage from last night. So they've been going full bore on that. So Kevin apologizes he can't be here tonight, but he's been going for a long time. So told him to go home and get some sleep. So DPW is very busy. We've got historic preservation coming up later in the month. Did have a sit down on fire with some folks from Pottersville with Committeeman Hickey. We worked on some budgetary issues and had a good dialogue about some expectations along the way, and then certainly trying to drill down on what the needs are and explaining that we don't want to be redundant in our purchases. We've got a bunch of expensive apparatus coming up in the next 5-year window, so we want to be diligent about getting them everything they need, but we don't want to double up efforts. So more on that to come. They understand where we are, and I think we got a good communication going with them. So that's really what I've got, and I can report back more next time on HPC.
Great, thank you. Committeeman Hickey.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, all. Board of Health, there'll be no meeting this month. They were unable to attain a quorum this close to the holidays, but there will be a meeting in January.
Board of Ed, I attended the December meeting this past Thursday. Speaking of DPW, a shout out to Kevin and the crew who were recognized for their recent work on fixing the path adjacent to the school. So many thanks to them. Also, a retirement celebration was held for Mr. Hogan, who officially retired after 34 years of service. Following remarks by Superintendent Giordano, Principal Swan, and the board, he received a standing ovation that I will tell you went on for more than a minute. Really nice. He was honored.
That's great.
And if your child was fortunate enough to have Mr. Hogan, obviously they learned something in the classroom, but they probably also took an animal
They
or two
also
home,
took an animal or
During the
two.
break.
That's right.
right? The chinchillas, whatever it was. He will be sorely missed. And Mayor, that's all I have.
Great. Thank you, Committeewoman Mareski.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to do a quick recap of JVH's weekend. It was pretty busy. It was the cocktail party on Friday, and we had about 35 people attend, which doesn't sound like a lot, but a lot of the people who attended did express great interest in either joining friends or helping out with our next fundraiser. So that was pretty exciting. The house was decorated really pretty by our trustee, Lisa Stryker, and there were cocktails and appetizers for everyone. On Saturday was the tree lighting. That was very well attended. Not sure how many people, we didn't really have a count, but I'm going to say like 50, 60,
Oh,
More?
way more than
more
that.
than that, 70,
Well,
80.
Oh, over 100 for sure. Absolutely.
Excellent. I'm not good with those numbers. The kids had fun decorating the gingerbread cookies. They were upstairs in the house. There was hot chocolate and hot pretzels for everyone. Keeping little fingers warm. Santa was outside helping take pictures with the kids and the other attendees. And to round out the evening, several of the trustees conducted tours through the house, which was great because we had a lot of people who hadn't been there before. And then to round out the evening, the mayor gave a brief review of the history of our area and the importance of the JVH house in it. And he finished by lighting the tree. Counted down and the tree went up and it was gorgeous.
That's great. Congratulations to the JVH, really the entire team, the board, the trustees. Tree looks great. The weekend was a great event for JVH, and there could, as just as easily been over 200 people at that tree lighting. It was just, the parking was, people were parked way before you got to the dog park. They were parked in the field, they were parked in the backfield, and just great to see everyone out there. It was very nice.
And that's all I have.
It's great. So nothing to report from the Land Use Board. Farmers Market, we did have the last farmers market of the 2023 season on December 9th. Interesting, Santa was also at the farmers market.
He was a busy guy.
He was a busy guy. It was, it was great to see all the volunteers were out there. There's a picture taken with Santa. The only volunteer who missed that photo was Bill Rosen, which is really a shame because I think he really would have liked to have seen the Santa.
Sure.
But he wasn't there. And then when Santa left, Bill popped up there, so it was great. But just as we said, people bringing their dogs, people sitting down with their parents, with their kids with their dogs, parents with their dogs. It was just a great event, and just as we've been thanking Kevin from DPW. What his team put together was a Santa throne and also a mailbox for letters to Santa, which was unexpected. And I'm not sure who came up with the idea for it. Robin?
Actually, it's Frank Bernardo. Chief Bernardo.
That was his idea for the
Yes, it was.
mailbox?
Mhm.
Well, that was great. And DPW did a great job, and we had kids lined up, and not just kids, but we actually had adults lined up as well.
Letters are great.
Filling them out, and I understand that Chief will be responding to each of those requests.
Actually, Neil is.
We see how that delegation goes. But it's just a tremendous, and I just want to, you know, you mentioned Neil, I just want to say thank you to Neil Mastrobuono and to every member of the Farmers Market Advisory Committee and the volunteers who worked to make 2023 the biggest farmers market season we've had yet. So thank you, everyone. Ms. Ray, may we please have the administrator's report?
Yes, Mayor. I've been pretty busy the last 2 weeks working on discussing the contracts that we received, the RFPs for our professional services, meeting with several of the different people. Budget prep meeting started with department heads already last week. Working on stormwater compliance year-end report. We had submitted a grant to the Highlands. They asked for some more detail, providing that. Working on planning the reorganization meeting and dinner, which is coming up on January 4th. Interviews, we've been conducting interviews for violations clerk as well as preliminary telephone interviews for the QPA finance clerk position. And on December 13th, I attended the Somerset County Municipal Managers Meeting, and the hot topics were the county radio, what's going on. Most of the municipal managers did not get that email that we got, so I shared it with all of them. They were very appreciative of that. And the other topic had to do with uniform construction code officials and the inspectors working in multiple towns. So more to come on that.
Okay, great. Thank you. We have an introduction of an ordinance tonight, which is ordinance number 2023-022. This ordinance amends section 2-11 entitled Police Department, and the ordinance amends the police off-duty employment rates. If introduced tonight, the public hearing for the ordinance will be scheduled for January 15th.
No, actually, it will be this.
Oh, we're not, no, that's right, we're not.
December 28th.
Yes, we
Oh, that's
actually
right.
changed that
Okay,
to
so
December
we're,
28th. for
got
year.
it, got it, that's right, you're right,
I'm noticing it.
you're right, you're right, you're right, right.
Sorry about that.
Okay, so for those who picked up their agenda. The public hearing, that's right, because we,
There's.
yeah, and just so everyone knows.
Yeah.
When municipalities introduce ordinances, they cannot be carried over to the new year. So you can't introduce in 2023 and then have the public hearing in 2024. You would have to essentially defer everything to 2024 or get it done in 2023.
You don't find that in a statute. There's two old cases from the 1920s.
Oh.
Kind of something that municipal attorneys just know.
You know, and I'm dealing with this actually in my private practice. I remember when we talked about when the public hearing would be. Right, so thank you
Sorry.
for that catch.
What time is the meeting on the 20th?
9 a.m.
9.
So you'll have time to make it to the Rutgers pinstripe ball at Yankee Stadium.
Is that on the
That's
28th?
on the 20th. Just let you know.
I think
I'll be en route to Florida, so I'll have to miss that.
So we're going to introduce, if we choose to introduce the ordinance tonight, the public hearing will be for our last, which is at our end of the year. Typically, we just run through bills and invoices that need to be paid off before the end of the year. But this time we'll actually be having the opportunity to have a public hearing on this ordinance, which updates the off-duty rate for, okay.
it keeps happening. I tried to take a picture.
Okay,
Not sure what.
we're getting some wacky
Signal.
little wacky signals off the screen. So this updates our off-duty rate for our police officers. The off-duty rates have remained pretty much the same for actually since I think I've been on Township Committee. So this is a chance to actually update the off-duty rates, and the off-duty rates that we are proposing to go to are actually rates that have been discussed with the police department and with the PBA membership. So this is something that both the Township Committee and the PBA have agreed on. And would actually be the subject, well, actually, if it's adopted, would be the subject of a settlement of the PBA pending contract. Any questions before we'll take a motion to introduce? Any questions? No, take a motion to introduce ordinance number 2023-022.
So moved.
Second. Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Moreski.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank
The
you.
public hearing for ordinance number 2023-022 will be December 28, 2023, 9 o'clock here. We have 2 items on the consent agenda. Any township committee member want to pull any of those items off for individual consideration? Seeing none, take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Moreski.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
So the first resolution is a resolution that we had tabled last week. So there could be further discussion by the or review by the Township Committee, and this is ordinance, resolution 2023-171, authorizing the adoption of an amended affordable housing spending plan. Robin, did Gina and Renee, did you guys get the chance to go through the spending plan?
We do know.
We didn't go through it with, in our meeting, if that's what you're asking.
Yes.
With CGP and H?
Right.
No, we did not. We went through this with the subset of us. I think Renee and you have been in on that meeting. And this was the final version that Kevin Mahaley had presented to us.
I'm going to suggest that we table it again
Okay.
because Gina's not here and I really do want Gina's input on the review of the spending plan.
Sure.
Because there may be considerations that you had in those discussions that may affect the allocation of some of those funds. And we're
under no,
right, this is,
yeah, there's no sense of urgency. If you do change it, I have to send it back to Fair Share Housing Center, but that's not a big lift. In fact, they looked at the draft that is presently out there and had no issues with it. So we don't have any deadlines for this, and it's just simply a motion to the Mount Laurel judge in Somerset County that would probably routinely enter an order approving this on notice to Fair Share. So there's no sense of urgency.
okay, good. And
So
I-
just be comfortable with it.
okay, I'd rather be comfortable than put it through. Just because,
Besides, Frank's doing the certification, so
got it,
it'll be here any day. now.
yes, right. The next resolution is resolution 2023-181. Resolution ratifying the memorandum of agreement reached with PBA Local 366. Ms. Ray, I just want to provide a brief summary.
Sure, you all have a copy of the memorandum, which is attached to the resolution. It identifies the items that were of concern to both parties with the resolution. One of them being the off-duty rate and the salary. Were the 2 main sticking points. And this actual agreement is in line with the salary that the township had last was the final offer for that the township had presented to the PBA.
So this memorandum of agreement essentially recognizes the conclusion of the negotiations with our PBA, Local 366. And authorizes the administrator and the mayor to conclude the negotiations and enter into a collective bargaining agreement consistent with the terms of the MOA. Doug, comments? And you agree that the MOA is consistent with where we ended with discussions?
Yes.
Questions?
Nope, no questions.
Okay, I'll take a motion to approve resolution 2023-181.
So moved.
Second,
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
aye.
Ms. Moreski.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
Next resolution is resolution 2023-182, and this resolution would amend the salaries under the PBA collective bargaining agreement, consistent with the terms set forth in the memorandum of understanding that we just approved. Questions or comments concerning that resolution? Seeing none, take a motion to approve resolution 2023-182.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Moreski.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye. Just find resolution 183, there it is.
They all
Okay.
should be in sequential order.
So the next resolution is resolution 2023-183, and this resolution accepts the resignation of our finance clerk and qualified purchasing agent, Sarah Hausman, who is taking another position in another municipality. Sarah's been with us for many years and started off as administrative assistant,
That's correct. Part-time administrative.
part-time administrative assistant. She grew here, advanced through the ranks, always looking for opportunities in finance and in purchasing. And eventually has landed a position with a larger town in the purchasing department there. And this is certainly furthers her career goals. And sad to see her go, but she's been with us a while, and this is a great opportunity she has. This resolution simply accepts her resignation, and that's really all that resolution does.
So it's just procedural because,
That's correct.
We can't keep her.
well, I was gonna say, we don't really have a choice.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Lincoln had. something to say.
Constitutionally,
Lincoln had something to say
you've
about
been,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, so,
If I may, we do have a discussion during executive session. Which is why we actually need to formally.
So we can accept her resignation. So if there's a need to bring her on or retain her, we can do so on a quarterly basis or hourly basis.
Correct.
With
That's up for
that, without
discussion.
her still
Correct.
being a full-time employee. So there's the little legal nicety that we have to run through. Take a motion to approve resolution 2023-183.
So moved.
second,
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
aye.
Ms. Moreski.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, we do have the bill list to review and approve. I'll take a motion to approve the bill list pending review of individual invoices.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote then, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Moreski.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
So earlier this evening, Committeewoman Moreski and I were talking about the JVH tree lighting festivities. And as the tree lighting was ending, leaving the grounds and saw Sergeant Greenstein and said, we're investigating a missing pocket. What? Is it misplaced? No, it certainly appears that there's that a pocketbook was taken from a parked vehicle while at the JVH tree lighting. And then as I'm leaving, I see Officer Hill. And there's another officer who's also taking information down from a Bedminster resident who was attending the tree lighting with their children. Sent a couple emails around to the chief and to the lieutenant about, once again, putting the word out there about personal safety, personal protection of your goods and materials. We're in the holiday season. There's events going on everywhere. Earlier that day, I'm talking to another police officer at the farmer's market and just talking about through the hills and through the shopping centers, just people testing to see whether car doors are open, looking to see if there's any gifts or packages in the front seats or the rear seats are certainly exposed. There were a number of what appears to be attempted thefts of vehicles throughout Bedminster and through our neighboring towns as well. And in the conversations with both the chief and lieutenant, once again, using what we have at our disposal, Rave, Facebook, Instagram, and using social media to get the word out for folks to be careful. I'd also asked that at this next meeting that we have the chief who's unavailable tonight, or Lieutenant Polito, who is available, to just give everyone a brief reminder and certainly on record, but also we do know we've got some media out there to help get the word out. And this is not something that we do once, we do this multiple times a year, but it always bears repeating. Lieutenant Polito.
Good evening. So I figured I'd give a little background about where this kind of started and what the groups are. There's one very organized group. They have a name, Felony Lane Gang. There's Facebook pages all over the place with their pictures from law enforcement end and just community end with them out there. And they're a highly organized group of individuals. They usually come up from Florida and Georgia. And they work in teams and tandems and pairs. And what they generally do is they drive around any event, like you were just talking about, the farmer's market, the gym, the malls, anywhere where there's going to be a lot of cars and where people are going to leave their purses, their backpacks, their briefcases, laptops, whatever in the front seat. And all they do is they look in the window. And if they see something that they want, they'll pull the door handle, but this group doesn't care. They'll break the window and they'll grab it. And they usually, like I said, they work in teams. So you might have a driver and 2 or 3 people in the car with them. They'll hit the parking lot 4 or 5 rows in a matter of a minute or less. They'll grab 4 or 5 purses and then they're out. What they do is they turn those purses off to another group within their organization, who then they find checkbooks, driver's licenses, and they have wigs and you name it. They do everything to disguise people to look like the driver's license, and they go around to different banks cashing checks. You have the more opportunistic group that come out and they just pull door handles. And they're just looking for, again, anything that they see inside the car. They're going to pull a door handle, if it's unlocked, they're going to take it and they're going to go. They do this with packages, like I said, briefcases, key fobs. A lot of people tend to forget that they have a valet key that they leave in their glove box. So if they pull a door handle, if they're rifling the glove box, they find the valet key, but they're going to take your car and your car's going to get stolen. So really, it comes down to, although there's no full way to protect yourselves 100%, but whatever belongings you have in the car, if you're at the gym, you're at the park going for a run, put it in your trunk. Out of sight, out of mind. They're going to look in the car. They're not going to see anything. They're going to move on to the next car. The other thing they're going to do is they're going to look at your mirrors. A lot of the higher end cars, most cars now, the mirrors will fold when you lock them, when you lock your car. If they see that your mirrors aren't folded, they're gonna assume your car's not locked and they're gonna pull the door handles and they're gonna get in that way. So it really becomes down to the driver of the vehicle, the owner of the vehicle, taking the care, taking the time to make sure that they have everything out of sight in the trunk, not in the car. If you're gonna run to King's, if you've been to the Bridgewater Mall or the Short Hills Mall, shopping all day for Christmas, drop your packages off or make sure they're in the trunk so they can't see them. Really what they're looking, they're more opportunistic. They're looking to see what they can see in the front compartment of the vehicle. And they're going to break the window. The other thing is, and this has happened, otherwise I wouldn't mention it. People go to the park, they go for a run. They think they put their key on their rear tire, it's hidden. Or they put it underneath the bumpers. It's not. They'll check the tires, they'll grab the key, and their car got stolen. So always lock your car. Always make sure your windows are locked. Take your key fob with you. Make sure you don't have the valet key in the car. Make sure everything of value is out of sight, out of mind. And if you can, park somewhere there's street lights or overhead lighting so your car is illuminated if it's at night.
Lieutenant, how do you gauge this holiday season versus priors? Is there any?
There's no,
is there any
you'll see an uptick of the more opportunistic people during the holiday season looking for the unlocked cars. This organization, they're around year round. So it doesn't matter what time of the year it is for this group, the felony lane gang, for the opportunistic individual who's just not a good person. You'll see an uptick in those individuals because they see more packages in the cars and they'll find more cardboard unlocked.
So both Chief Bernardo and Lieutenant Polito have are very much committed to community policing and the idea of getting information out to the Bedminster community as best and as often as we and they can.
And again, to get that information out, we put stuff out on Rave, we put stuff on Facebook. I got flyers. If anybody showed up today, they can grab a flyer. But it's basically saying the same thing, lock your car, keep everything out of sight. It really, you help yourself a lot more than you think by keeping all that stuff in the trunk or out of sight and you keeping your doors locked.
And certainly we know it doesn't matter whether you live in the hills or you live at the end of a half-mile driveway. If your car is left open with the keys in it, it will be stolen. Right, and there have been those same thefts from properties with half-mile drives.
Archer Crossroad, 2 Land Rovers. A couple of years ago, because they left the keys in them. "Ah, it's in my driveway. I live on Archer Crossroad."
It's just be careful. We keep that and reiterate that at our house. Every time I take the dog for a walk, I go back and check. Or have the mirrors folded in? Is everything locked? And don't leave stuff in your car. As safe as we have it here in Bedminster, it doesn't mean that everything is completely safe. And so protect your belongings, protect your family, protect yourself. And if anyone has questions or wants to see the police department come in and give a presentation to their condos or other community groups, that all gets run through Lieutenant Polito.
Yes. And again, if you want more information on this NHTSA website, National Traffic Safety Highway Association, I think even Geico has it on their website. There's a plethora of information out there. You just gotta look for it and read it and adhere to it.
And adhere to it, exactly. Right. Thank you, Lieutenant Polito. Continue with new business, Committeeman Stevenson.
Thank you, Mayor. After last meeting, I was having lunch and surfing the internet, as I typically do over lunch. And I got away from my sports searches, and I actually came across something that caught my eye, and I wanted to talk about it with you. Pay attention, because there's going to be a test after this. The high school just started this year with something that they're calling the Everyday Heroes Award, and it was a news PR release from December 6th, where it was under character, commitment, and community. And I thought you would all get you'd all appreciate the award recipients of this new award that the high school is issuing. If I could just read parts of the news release, the presser. The premise of the Everyday Hero is to recognize Bernard's High School students who have a positive influence on the BHS student body through exemplary qualities of character and a deep commitment to their peers and the school community as a whole. Students are nominated by their teachers for inspiring others, as well as for being responsible and respectful day in and day out. They started the award in October, so there's been an October, November, and a December award. The October award went to Jenna Pascal. She's the daughter of Frank and Jessica Pascali. She's a BHS senior who demonstrates her commitment to promoting the good she sees in others throughout all grade levels. Jenna is often caught putting the needs of others before her own, and she works tirelessly to consider how her actions affect her school community. Jenna is a dedicated student, athlete, and friend. She has a mature sense of self and is active in her learning while simultaneously working hard to create a positive environment wherever she goes. Often acting as the peacekeeper, Jenna uses her lightheartedness, good nature, and sense of humor to make the classroom, athletic field, or hall a safe and peaceful place to be. The following month in November, Shelby Rosen, daughter of Bill Rosen and Karen Rosen, was recognized for her strong character traits. She was the November's Everyday Hero. Described as a ray of sunshine, Shelby embodies inclusivity, kindness, and willingness to help both students and staff in any way she can. Her ever-present smile can brighten anyone's day. She's handled difficult times with the utmost maturity and poise, and always devotes herself to helping others overcome their own hardships. Shelby is dedicated to her academics and extracurricular activities, which are numerous. Both in the classroom and on the field, this Everyday Hero simply shines. Most recently in December, Nolan Baker, the son of Lily and Ross Baker, was awarded the Everyday Hero Award. This BHS sophomore is gracious, polite, and respectful to all. In the classroom, there's always that moment when the teacher poses a question and a silence fills the air before everyone breathes a sigh of relief when someone raises their hand. Nolan is that student who never fails to raise his hand, offer his opinion, or ignite a lively discussion. With unwavering enthusiasm, an open mind, and an insatiable curiosity, Nolan approaches every task and challenge with unparalleled dedication. He embodies the spirit of positivity, spreading warmth and kindness into every space he occupies. With students like this in the present, it is exciting to imagine what the future holds. All three of those students came from Bedminster, okay? And it doesn't mean that there aren't good students elsewhere. But clearly, you know, our community is putting kids out there in the community and, you know, they're tomorrow's leaders, right? I mean, they're being recognized. They're showing themselves as, you know, distinguishing themselves, should we say, from their peers. And, you know, having had kids go through the school, I can attest to the fact that the character is top level across the board up there. But for the three successive initial awards to come from that school, Bedminster, I'm damn proud of it. So good job, kids. Keep it up. Making Bedminster proud.
Great. Thank you, Doug. And also wanted to thank Dr. Brockville from Somerset Hills School District. He's in his first year, right?
Yes.
Still in his first year as superintendent of the Somerset Hills School District. And he hit the ground running even before he started, right? So I had the opportunity to have a few meetings with Dr. Brookshall. And he did this with every mayor and did this with every police chief in the district, even we're sending district, you know, we're sending participant. But yeah, certainly made no distinction in dealing with me, dealing with Chief Bernardo, as he did with the other host municipalities. And Doug, you're right. I think this reflects tremendously on these three students and on the Bedminster School itself and the Bedminster School District. So thank you to everyone. Great job. And these are also great parents. as well.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Great family.
Reorganization. So we always, I don't want to say always, for years, Bedminster reorg was held at Willie's Tavern. Willie's Tavern no longer exists. And the reorganization could not fit within Delicious Heights. And so we've been having the event at the National Golf Course. We've had the event at the Fiddler's Elbow Country Club. One year we had it at the Pottersville Fire Department. When we were looking at this year, where to have it and who's available, which is always one of the major limiting factors because we've just gotten through the Christmas and New Year's holidays. And a lot of the catering venues and facilities, they're closed. They're done. Their staff is off. The kitchens are closed. So we were just bouncing around some ideas. And, I asked Robin to reach out to Cambridge because certainly during the tours of Purnell School, I remember going through that cafeteria there and going, oh, this is an interesting meeting, but Purnell certainly didn't have the facilities, catering facilities to handle the 115 or so people that we get for the reorg. But maybe it'd be different with Pingree. And Robin reached out to Pingree. They were available. They have the catering facilities. They have on-site catering, so they can actually handle everything, basically soup to nuts. And their price for the dinner was square on with the facilities that have hosted us before, most recently Fiddlers and Trump. So to me, this was an opportunity to bring the reorganization and the township committee meeting to Pottersville, to the very northwestern corner of Bedminster and the very northwestern corner of Somerset County, to this beautiful campus, the former Purnell campus, now the Pingree campus, or the Pottersville campus of the Pingree School. And Robin, we're set for Thursday the 4th at 7 o'clock for our Bedminster 2024 reorganization meeting. And Robin's going to go out there tomorrow to check out the facilities and probably make some suggestions and improvements because that's what Robin does. And she'll make it even better than Pingree is going to do it.
I have to tell you, they have been so accommodating. They have bent over backwards and it's just an absolute pleasure to work with.
That's great.
Everyone I've spoken to.
That's great. So we look forward to seeing folks coming out for the 2024 reorganization meeting. Certainly expect to see everyone here there. And to Committeeman Hickey sworn in. So great. So Robin, thank you for all that coordination with Pingree, and I think it'll be a great event. Moving on to old business. I've taken, we have nothing new on the DOT improvements, either for signage or road crossings. What happened with the beacon, the road crossing beacons that they said were on the way as part of some of the paving activities that we're doing on 202? Is that just not going to happen?
Well, the beacons are for the two crosswalks, the big block crosswalks that they talked about down in Pluckman and one in Bedminster Village area. But there's no new news.
No schedule, nothing there.
Probably not still in the final design stage like we are with the bridge in the final design stage. 10 years later.
Yeah, well, traffic moves slowly. Utilities. other than my own personal experience from last night.
I was gonna say, Mayor, why don't you give the update, Dateline Hillside Avenue on JCP&L? You lived it.
Pole was replaced this evening,
Well done. After being what, snapped in half?
snapped in half. A tree went down on hillside. Pulled a wire leading into a residence, and that wire was connected to a utility pole on the other side of the street. And as wasn't there, but just guessing from the way it looked afterwards, as that tree went down, pulling the line tore on the utility pole, and the utility pole snapped. So you're basically 1/3 of the top third of that utility pole hanging by the wires, not connected to anything at the bottom. We lost power about 2:30, and that was really confined to Hillside Ave, Steeplechase. Robin, you didn't lose power down by.
No, I did not. I was the home donor.
Yeah, so maybe I'm not sure if Bedminster Terrace or what, oh, they did. Okay, so
Just the bottom half of Riverwood was from my house down was,
so that little section of Bedminster Village, so yeah, it was pretty bad. And with the rain, not for those with some pumps, not an enjoyable evening. That was my own personal experience. Hickey, any further updates with either JCP&L or the other utilities?
Nothing on JCP&L. Altice, the good news is, since the weather has been cooperative, work has been progressing, and obviously we're well into December now. The ground has not frozen yet. So crews were spotted down Hills Drive last week pulling fiber and going across Washington Valley Road. So what I believe they're doing now is prepping for the builds in the spring, where a lot of the construction will shift to Hills Drive, so they can feed each one of those neighborhoods. So look, they're progressing as rapidly as they can, and they're taking advantage of the good weather to keep going as long as they can. And that's all the updates I have.
Thank you. And John and Doug, nothing further on Buckley Park, so we'll just keep that on here. We do have an executive session, so we're going to run through township committee comments, and we may be taking formal action on 3 resolutions following our executive session. So what we're going to do is we'll run through township committee comments. We'll adjourn to executive session. We will, after executive session, we'll return to the public session, where we may take action on 3 resolutions. The public is certainly entitled to stick around for when we return to public session. Once again, you don't have to. But let's run through township committee comments, and then we'll adjourn. Committeeman Stevens.
No comment.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wishing everybody happy holidays and best wishes for a healthy and happy 2024. Thank you.
Committeeman Reski.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, everyone.
I guess I should say that too.
Yeah. Doug, in retrospect.
I'll have a do-over.
Okay.
Holidays and Happy New Year. How's that?
Perfect. And same here. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. We'll see you, some of you, on December 28th if you choose to. And just once again want to thank all the township employees, police department, for all the work they've done this very difficult 2023. And also a special thank you to Kevin Murray and DPW guys, because and actually the police department, because running into Officer Del Cole this morning at Quick Check. Said, Mayor Jacobs, did you have an issue with the utility pole on Hillside? I said, yeah. I sent the chief a text at 4:30. He goes, yeah, I think I got a text from the chief shortly after that. So we know that both police and DPW were out maintaining some order. They were very busy dealing with flooding conditions all throughout Bedminster, aggravating traffic and creating safety concerns. We certainly know that Kevin's guys were out there affecting some, well, I don't want to say rescues, but helping people get out of flooded situations. With that, take a motion to adjourn to executive session at 7:55. Need a
So
motion?
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One more time. I
Yeah, I'm done.
hit it.
Didn't hear anything.
We may be recording. And 12, we are back from executive session. We have 3 resolutions to consider before we adjourn for the night. First resolution. Resolution number 2023-177. This resolution appoints a municipal prosecutor for the shared court for the period of January 1, 2024 to December 31st, 2024. And this resolution would appoint Stephen Davis from the law firm of DeFrancesco, Bateman, Koonsman, Davis, Lehrer, and Flom as the municipal prosecutor for the Bedminster Shared Court. Questions, comments? Seeing none, take a motion to approve resolution 2023-177.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's a roll call.
Oh, that's right.
Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Moransky. And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
And on the flip side, resolution number 2023-178, this resolution appoints a public defender for the Sheriff Municipal Court for the period of January 1, 2024 to December 31st, 2024. And this resolution would reappoint Scott Mitzner from the law firm of Mitzner and Mitzner as the public defender for the Sheriff Municipal Court. Comments or questions regarding the resolution? Seeing none, take motion to approve resolution 2023-178.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Moransky.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye. And the final resolution for the night is resolution number 2023-184. This resolution appoints a temporary part-time finance clerk and QPA effective December 15th, 2023. As you may recall, earlier this evening, we accepted the resignation of Sarah Hausman as she starts a new position in another town. This, excuse me, this resolution would allow us to keep Sarah on an hourly basis for when we need those QPA and finance clerk services, and the continued rate would be consistent with the rate that she's currently getting as, or was getting as a Bedminster employee. Questions or comments concerning that resolution?
On the resolution, we have number 5 and 6 as the same thing, so it will, Robin will
Robin,
fix that.
fix that typo.
Just make a note.
Yep.
Yep, just make a- otherwise fine.
Okay, so may I have a motion to approve resolution 2023-184?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Moransky.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye, and that concludes our December 18 Township Committee meeting. Once again, our next meeting will be December 28th. So everyone, best wishes for safe and happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everyone. Take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, at 9:15, we are adjourning for the evening. Thank you and good night.
There you go. You broke the internet.